हरे श्रीनिवास नारायणाय परिपूर्णगुणार्णवाय विश्वोदयस्थितिलयो नियतिप्रदाय ज्ञानप्रदाय विबुधासुरसौख्य दुःखसत्कारणाय वितताय नमो नमस्ते सदागमैकविज्ञेयं समतीक्षराक्षरं नारायणं वन्दे निर्दोषाशेषसद्गुणम् जयत्यब्जभवेशेन्द्रवन्दितः कमलापतिः अनन्तविभवानन्दशक्तिज्ञानादिसद्गुणः जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतः चार्देष्वभिघ्नस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यं सूरयाः तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि अभ्रमं भङ्गरहितम् अजडं विमलं सदा आनन्दतीर्थमतुलं भजे तापत्रयापहम् तपो विद्याविरक्त्यादिसद्गुणौघाकरानहं वादिराजगुरुन् वन्दे हयग्रीवपदाश्रयन् पूज्याय राघवेन्द्राय सत्यधर्मरताय च भजतां कल्पवृक्षाय नमतां कामधेनवे आपादमौलिपर्यन्तं गुरूणामाकृतिं स्मरेत्तेन विघ्नाः प्रणश्यन्ति सिद्ध्यन्ति च मनोरथः हरे श्रीनिवास श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः. From today onwards, I want to take few sessions on Srimad Bhagavatam, topics on Srimad Bhagavatam. In the first session, I will speak on Phala Shruti. What are the benefits of Srimad Bhagavatam by hearing? What is the benefit in hearing Srimad Bhagavatam? Or what is the benefit in speaking about Srimad Bhagavatam? What is the benefit in remembering the activities of the Lord? What is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam? The Srimad Bhagavatam is one among Ashtadasha Puranas, which is compiled and which is written by Bhagavan Sri Vedavyasa. It is actually the narration of the incidents which happened in the past. This Srimad Bhagavatam is not mere story. Story is something which comes out of the imagination of the poet's mind. But this is the history. So it starts in such a way as it is a dialogue or it is a narration of the incidents between the two groups. One is the speaker, the other is the listener group. The speaker group, here it is none other than Suta Maharshi, Suta Puranik. He is also called as Suta Puranik. The listening group is headed by Sri Shaunaka Maharshi. This incident happened 5,000 years, approximately 5,000 years back in a holy land or holy place called Naimisharanya, which is in the present Uttar Pradesh state of Bharatavarsha. The background of this incident is the rishis, whoever were there in the Naimisharanya, they were actually planning to perform an yajna for 1,000 years. But as mentioned in the Shastras, that too in the Kali Yuga, so much sacrifices which consume lot of time, which consume a lot of money, is not recommended in Kali Yuga. The reason is there are no such qualified kings in the Kali Yuga. At the same time, there are no qualified Brahmanas also who have attained the mantra siddhi. So the present day, in terms of the yajna of Treta Yuga or Dwapara Yuga, its equivalent is Sankirtana yajna in Kali Yuga. Sankirtana means it is constant remembrance and singing about the activities of the God. And in fact, it can be gathering, it can be of mass gathering of the people or congregational singing, or a person who can sing alone in a secluded place. So there are no such hard and fast rules in performing singing. Of course, it involves some raga, tala, whatever it may be. More than that, the bhakti is the important ingredient or the element in this Sankirtana. So when Suta Puranik arrives over there in the Naimisharanya, Shaunaka Maharshi offers him a highest respectable seat that is called as Vyasasana. Here one has to note an important point that the Suta Puranik, as we say in the modern days caste, he is belonging to Suta community. That means they were expert in cavalry or even the horse related issues. At the same time, Shaunaka Maharshi was a Brahmana. Here, there was a mutual respect among all the communities. It is unlike what we see in the today's scenario, which is prevailing in today's scenario. Here, this Brahmana Shaunaka has given him a very high respect. The reason is that Suta Puranik had a first-hand information about the entire incidents which are mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam, and he was highly knowledgeable in the terms of Shastras, in terms of Puranic knowledge and its interpretation also. So one has to listen, which comes through the proper disciplic succession. So coming to this disciplic succession, I want to talk something on the disciplic succession also. Any Shastras, whatever we listen, especially Puranas, the Itihasas, these things should come in the bona fide disciplic succession. It is Guru Parampara. Guru to Sishya, then again to Sishya, again to Sishya, Sishya, Sishya. So this is the way the knowledge has to be transferred, which was happening in the olden days. Unfortunately, in the today's scenario, we don't have such disciplic successions, which has ended up in some few years back. But today's situation is entirely different, and the disciplic succession, whatever I am speaking about, especially Srimad Bhagavatam or any Mahabharata, Ramayana, whatever I speak, it will be in accordance to Madhva Sampradaya, which is headed by Sri Madhvacharya, which comes from Lord Brahmadeva. So Brahma to Narada, then to Maharshi Valmiki in case of Ramayana, here in case of Mahabharata and Bhagavatam, it is Veda Vyasa, from Veda Vyasa to Madhvacharya. That is the way the disciplic section, in this disciplic succession only, the knowledge is transferred, and I am speaking in accordance with that only. And there are other sampradayas like Sri Sampradaya, which is headed by Sri Ramanujacharya, Rudra Sampradaya, and Kumara Sampradaya. So today's existence, in terms of existence, today's popular sampradayas are these two only, Madhvacharya Sampradaya and Sri Sampradaya, which is headed by Sri Ramanujacharya. What is the Phalashruti of listening to Srimad Bhagavatam? Here, of course, as I said earlier, it is a history. It is not a mere story. But of course, there are some stories which will keep appearing in our Puranas, Mahabharata, Ramayana, and many other such scriptures. Those stories are given as an illustrative example. They have got something to convey to us. For example, in Srimad Bhagavatam, Puranjanopakhyana, that has not occurred, but there is a message in that. The same way, many such instances appear in Mahabharata also. As a whole, as a broader thing, Srimad Bhagavatam is a history. One has to remember this. And at the same time, it has got many other connecting stories. What is the Phala Shruti? Here, the process of our devotion towards Lord can happen in any of the 9 ways. That is, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Vishnor, Pada Sevanam, Vandanam, Archanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atma Nivedanam. So these are all the 9 methods. One can adopt all the 9 also. There was a king by name Ambarisha who appeared in Surya Vamsha. He has adopted all these 9 things. So anyone can follow any one principle or one process and they can attain the eternal abode. Shravanam means which will start through our ears. Kirtanam, which will be through the mouth. Smaranam, through the mind. Anything, any process, whichever we are convenient with this. The reason is there was one more person in Lord Rama's lineage who was Khatwanga Raja. Khatwanga Raja, he just came to know that there was a life for him for only another Muhurta Kala. So in that Muhurta Kala, he has constantly remembered about the Lord and he has attained the eternal abode of Supreme Lord Sri Hari. The same way, coming to this further activities of Srimad Bhagavatam, what is the benefit? For example, a person or a pregnant lady who is desirous to have a very good child or a virtuous children, if a woman with pregnancy listens to this Srimad Bhagavatam or if she constantly remembers about the Lord activities mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, it is a definite thing that the child will be definitely a great devotee of the Lord. It is proven in many cases. Coming to this one more, Pumsavana Samskara. Generally, out of 16 samskaras, nowadays this samskara is not in existence today. But anyone who wants to adopt can adopt this Pumsavana Samskara. A pregnant lady will be performing this Pumsavana Samskara. With this kind of Samskara, even if a person is not able to follow certain things, whatever is mentioned in the Shastras, even if it is destined to be born a very wicked child also, but a woman who adopts this samskara will definitely get a very good child out of this one. And there will be a very happy married life also if both the wife and husband follows the activities mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. And last but not the least, anyone can attain the liberation. Anyone can attain the moksha. That is the eternal abode or the permanent place where a jiva can hanker to go and settle over there. And any such person, whoever reaches that abode of Lord, Supreme Lord Sri Hari or Sri Krishna, will never return back to this kind of material life. What is the material life? Material life is the one which has got the continuous cycle of birth and deaths, which is On the one side, they will be having a birth. At the other side, they have to undergo a lot of pains, which starts from the residence in the mother's womb till the Antyeshti Samskara, till that time, and there will be crucial death. And Antyeshti Samskara, till Antyeshti Samskara, this is a cycle. And a jiva has to undergo this continuous process, and the only remedy to get out of this is constantly following any of the 9 processes, or if possible, we can take a combination of many processes also. We can follow any of this. Definitely, such jiva can be out of this continuous cycle of birth and death. So these are all the one of the important things. And coming to this, we will go slowly into the details of Srimad Bhagavatam. The reason further is, now we are all in the age of Kali. However, we are in the only still in the starting stages. As we go deeper, we are going to land into the Ghora Kali Yuga. So the problem with the Kali Yuga is, people are all very dull-headed, blunt, arrogant, at the same time misguided, quarrelsome, and lot of misinterpretations about the Shastras will happen in the Kali Yuga. So when we are going into deeper into the characteristics of Srimad Bhagavatam, Sri Narada Maharshi, who was traveling, and he has met 4 Kumaras, as I was telling the Kumara Sampradaya. These Kumaras were earlier head of these Sampradayas, and this one of these Kumaras, they asked Narada Maharshi, they have told him, "Oh great sage, you seem to be, you have lost everything in the life, but for a great sage like you, this will not, there is something lacking in your face." That is what they make a such comment. Then Narada Maharshi will state, "I travelled extensively towards the various places and tirthas of Bharatavarsha." That is Kasi, Prayaga, Pushkara, Godavari, Haridwara, Kurukshetra, Sriranga, all such places I have travelled, but I am not getting satisfied in myself. The reason is, in Kali Yuga, actually dharma has to run on 4 padas. That is Satya, Tapassu, Shaucha, Daya. So all these elements are missing. And people, in fact, they are very lazy, very quarrelsome, very argumentative, and very poor memory. Actually, in olden days, in previous yugas, the Vedic knowledge, the mighty Vedic knowledge used to get transferred through only listening, remembering, and it used to follow, and it used to go to the next Sishyas in that parampara. That is through through Shravana. That is why it is called as Shruti. Through hearing, the knowledge used to get transferred. For that, it required to have a lot of memory, which was there in the earlier yugas human beings. But in fact, in today's situation, we don't remember what is the incident which happens in the morning or just 1 hour back also. That is due to the yuga prabhava. And people will not respect to their parents. And there will be no meaning of institution of marriage. Earlier marriage used to happen for the sake of dharma. But the purpose of the marriage or the institution of marriage is totally gone. So all such incidents, Maharshi Narada will make a note of all these things, and he was explaining to the four Kumaras. And more than this, people will live their life by selling the food. Maybe improperly in the earlier yugas, it was not happening. Then Narada Maharshi will further add to this, stating that I saw one aged lady whose senses were very active, and she had two handicapped children with her. But this is not the trend which has to happen. Of course, that is a Kali Yuga. Such situations already Narada Maharshi has seen this. Actually, mother will be very old and her senses will be out of order. That has to be taken care by the children. But in fact, things were going in the other way. Children were handicapped and mother was very active. Then Narada Maharshi will ask her, what lady, why, what has happened to you or to your children? Why you people are so much in this kind of situation, agony situation? Then that lady will reply, stating that you are a very great sage. You only can offer a best solution for us. Then Narada Maharshi will ask her what has happened. Then she will tell, my name is Bhakti. Here, this is again lot of things which have got the inner meaning. Madhvacharya will use a terminology called, actually any scripture has got three bhashyas. That is Samadhi Bhasha, Guhya Bhasha, Darshana Bhasha. Certain things we have to view the Shastras as it is. Certain things we have to catch the inner meaning. Certain things we have to catch, we have to build a conclusion based on many inferences. So that varies from individual to individual. So here there is a message in this. Actually, this dialogue, whatever happens between this lady or those two children or between Narada Maharshi should not be viewed as it is. Here there is a message or here there is something to convey. She will tell about her history. Utpanna Dravida Saham Vruddhim Karnatake Gata Kwachit Kwachin Maharashtre Gurjare Jirnatam Gata. Utpanne Dravida Deshe. That is, her name is Bhakti. Bhakti means devotion. So I have taken birth in the Dravida Desha. That is today's Tamil Nadu of Bharatavarsha. I have taken birth means here there is a thing which we have to observe. What is that meaning? I have taken birth in Dravida Desha means she has taken the birth in the form of Alvar's Kirtan. So they were very great saints who come in the order of Sri Sampradaya. Then Saham Vruddhim Karnatake Gata. So I have grown up to a full swing in Karnataka in the form of the great devotees that is called as Dasa Kuta, that is in the form of Haridasas, notably Purandaradasa, Kanakadasa, Vijayadasa, Gopaladasa. So of course their Dasa Parampara is continuing even today also. So the bhakti has grown into a full swing in Karnataka. And that growth, whatever has happened, it was stable in Maharashtra. That is in the areas of Pandharpur. Anyone need not know the inner details about any kirtans or anything. Just anyone can go to Pandharpur and they can just clap their hands and sing and jump Vitthala, 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 Vitthala. That trend we can see even today in Pandarapur in Maharashtra. And then coming to it has become Gurjare Jiranatam Gata. That means whatever I have grown, it got its deterioration in Gurjara Desha. Maybe it is because of the nearness to the Pakistan or what, we don't know. It is so I have my deterioration at Gurjara Desha. Then coming to this Kali Yuga also, people will be having more of the wicked nature, more of the cruel nature. Still we are, whatever we are seeing, it is only in the starting stages. As we go deeper into this Ghora Kali Yuga, the things are going to be very horrible. Coming to the Phala Shruti, the Srimad Bhagavatam the narration has happened for 3 times, majorly in the Kali Yuga. Of course, it happens even today in various places, that is a different thing. So the first 3 times, whatever has happened has been recorded in the scriptures. So this kind of Phalashruti is clearly mentioned in Padma Purana, but not in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So for the first time, the narration has happened between Parikshit Maharaj and Sukha Maharshi. Parikshit Maharaj was on the verge of death, and Sukha Maharshi is none other than Lord Shiva's incarnation. That was the first time. Second time it has happened in Tungabhadra, on the banks of Tungabhadra. We don't know where exactly it has happened, but many sources say that it has happened in the places of Mantralayam, places nearby of Mantralaya of Andhra Pradesh. And third time, it is, as I said, it was between the dialogue between Bhakti Devi and Narada Maharshi. So these are all the 3 instances. So in today's case, first I will narrate a place called the story of, I don't say it as a story, it is the narration called as Gokarno Pakshana, which has happened, as I said, it is on the banks of Tungabhadra river. So that is one typical happening which has happened many thousands of years back. So it happened in such a way, it will start in such a way that there was a Brahmana by name Atma Deva, who was a very pious Brahman, who had a wife by name Dunduli. So he was financially sound enough also. He was doing a lot of danas, lot of tapasya, everything he was doing. But he was feeling one sort of deficiency in his mind, that he had no child. Actually, it is some of exactly it is not told it is not exactly told as it is. Aputra gatir nastim. It is a wrong interpretation stating that which Madhvacharya never approved this particular point as it is mentioned directly in the Shastras. That Aputra Gatirnasya, a person who doesn't have son will go to hell, he can be saved by the male child only. That kind of statements were not approved by Madhvacharya. He was very clear. Whoever had complete devotion towards the Lord can easily cross this material misery. It is not something like Aputra Gatir Nastin. The same way this Brahmana Atmadeva was also misinterpreting in such a way. He was feeling that much deficiency in his mind. Then suddenly a sage came over there. In olden days, the sages or the Brahmanas had that power, who had attained that mantra siddhi. if they recite some mantra and give some fruit or some payasa or some kheer or whatever it may be, when a woman consumes, she used to get pregnancy. So, a lot of narration or lot of, it is not exactly the argument, lot of discussion will happen between this Atma Deva and that Maharshi who appears in that village. Maharshi was telling, you are not actually, there is no destiny written in your thing to have the child. But Atmadeva was very vehement. He was stubbornly asking, at any cost I want a son. Then he was convincing him, are you not aware of Chitraketu's story which happens in Srimad Bhagavatam? So such kind of dukkha is going to appear in your life also. Once anyone's mind gets attached to something, till it reaches to their hand, person cannot get convinced. So he was very vehement, and Maharshi was also not further able to continue the dialogue, continue the discussion. Then he gave the phala, fruit, and asked him to give to his wife so that she can conceive and get a satsantana or get a good child. Then he happily takes this fruit and gives to his wife. One has to make a note at this point. So the one person is desirous to have a very good child. On the other hand, his wife was not ready to carry. The reason was she was beauty conscious and she was overly assuming on her own about many things. That I have to carry, maybe the pregnancy pains, I have to feed her, my beauty will be lost, some such kind of things she was thinking. And when husband was not there at home, she just took that fruit and gave that fruit to a cow which was in the shed of their house. The cow ate that fruit and she also told a lie to her husband, stating that I have taken the fruit, I have consumed. Then her husband, she was thinking in the other side also. If her husband asks, what is the position of the pregnancy, then what I have to answer? She was thinking, and during that thought process itself, she had her sister at home. Then this sister, she went and told, okay, don't worry, you tell a lie to your husband stating that you ate the fruit, you are conceived, and you just keep on giving him the false status stating that I am in the third month, fifth month, eighth month, something like that. And anyway, I am pregnant. Whatever I am delivering the child, that child I will give it to you. So both the sisters are thinking in a similar way. So definitely one has to observe very keenly what is the inner content over here. What is going to happen further. So as the days progressed, when her husband was not at home, the sister has delivered a baby and gave that baby to this her elder sister. So here one important thing we have to note is, whatever the thoughts a woman gets during pregnancy, there will be directly or indirectly the impact on the child who is going to take the birth. So they named that baby as a Dundukari. Dunduli son Dundukari. And who was a very wicked, cruel, who was addicted to all the negative vices which a Brahmana, or which not even a Brahmana, which any human being is supposed to have. he had all such negative vices in him, negative habits. On the other side, the cow which has consumed the fruit given by Maharshi, that cow also delivered a baby. Of course, it was in the half cow, half human being. It is something like the body is human being, the face, the ears, only the ears part were similar to that of cow. That is why he was called as Gokarna. Karna means ears. So his ears were in the form of the cow's ears. So this Dundukari and the other side Gokarna, both were growing more or less. They are of just Dundukari was a bit earlier and this Gokarna was a younger person. So both were growing. This Dundukari has grown as in a negative manner. He brought prostitutes to his home. He was beating his parents. And by seeing all these things, that Atmadeva Brahmana, after discussing with his younger son, that is Gokarna, he comes to know that Gokarna is also something, he has got a virtuous habits. So when he discussed with him, he gave a consciousness stating that it is high time you have to retire from your life and start thinking about the Lord. So as the time progressed, this person has departed from the material world and went to the eternal abode of Supreme Lord Sri Hari. The other side, this Dundukari, he has brought prostitutes to his home. He was in fact beating his mother also, and one fine day that mother also dies who was unbearable, who she was not able to see the son in such a form, and she also dies. Then he started feeling, now today nobody is there, so I will take everything and I will give to these prostitutes and I will enjoy my material life. Then as the time progressed, that also all the properties were disappearing at his home in order to feed those prostitutes. And one fine day, he felt it is the money, whatever is left over is not sufficient to feed those prostitutes. Then he made a wicked plan in stealing the treasury from the king. That is jewelries or whatever, the ornaments, whatever are there in the king's treasury. Then he started off stealing that items. So as he plotted a plan, he was able to execute that. He has stolen all that jewelries and brought and given it to these prostitutes. Those prostitutes also, when their thoughts are not in line with the Shastras, they also start thinking that in the negative way. Of course, there were many other, in Shastras, we can't comment every prostitute is something like this. There was a prostitute who appears in Bilvamangala's life, who has given a consciousness to think about the Lord. But in this particular case, these prostitutes have plotted a wicked plan of killing this Bindukari. So the reason was, when the jewelry gets displayed in some forum, and then Dundukari will tell the truth, stating that he has brought to feed the ladies, those ladies also will be in deep trouble. So they thought of a plan, they have hit him, they have tied him to a pillar, they have put all the hot burning coal on his hand, and finally this fellow Dundukari also died. And this person has become a ghost. On the other side, his brother, he went to many places of pilgrimage. He says, all these Mayavanti, all these places he went. Finally offered a Pindana at a place called Laya. And then he came back home, the place where his father lived. Then he saw the house has become, it has gone into a very dark stage. Then he started slowly that Sruthi started cleaning. He started performing actions everywhere, and suddenly one night, when he comes out and sees, there was some form that was seen as a reptile, sometimes it was seen as a cow, sometimes it was seen as a dog. So suddenly he starts talking to that. Who are you? Then he tells, I am none other than the elder brother, none other than Dukari. I am this terrible ghostly. Please do something to release me out of the stage what I am facing. The ghost will never have a body, and it will have all the feelings what a human will be trying to have, like hunger, but they cannot eat. Thirsty, but they cannot. This kind of situation will be there. Then the ghost will ask him in such a way, he will plead. Then this younger brother Gokarna will tell, I have offered Indadana even for you at Gaya Kshetra, then you should have got relieved by now. Then Dundukari, the ghost, will give a beautiful befitting reply stating that there is no doubt about the sanctity of the Kshetra of Gaya. But the sins whatever I have committed in my life as Dundukari, that has exceeded the merits of Gaya Kshetra. That I am that much sinner that even my sin cannot be erased even by after offering a Pindadana at the place of Gaya. So please do something. Please get me out of this terrible ghostly life. Then one day he was meditating. Then about Lord Surya Deva, about none other than Surya Mandala Narayana. Then he gave like stating that, please Prasanth, Bhagavatam your place. Then he has collected this ghostly appearance and he has put it in a cloth which was knitted with 7 knots. And it was hanged over the bamboo tree. On the bamboo tree, it was hanged over. So in the Sapaha Vidhi, he conducts the Bhagavad Saptaha in Saptaha Vidhi. We have to invite all our guests. We have to put it, if possible, in today's situation, we can do it in WhatsApp also. We can invite the people conducting about the Saptaha. So please all come join. Please take the benefit of this. In this way, we have to conduct a Bhagavad Saptaha in a Saptaha Vidhi. Then he organized himself was a speaker in that session. So it has happened for 7 days. For each day, for the first day, at the end of the first day session of Srimad Bhagavatam, he was able to see one knot getting loosened. Second day, everybody seeing same knot was getting loosened. And at the end of the 7th day, all the knots were totally released. And the ghost, whatever was tied in the cloth, the appearance, whatever was tied in the cloth, it just at the end of the 7th day, it has entered into a Divya Vimana. It is a divine thing which has come from the eternal abode of Akshari. Then he makes a statement to the Gokana, I just prayed or I just asked you to release me from this terrible ghostly life, but you have made me to travel to the permanent abode of Supreme Lord Sri Hari or Sri Krishna, where no Jiva need not come back. You have sent me to such a place. So the greatness of Srimad Bhagavatam, Jaya Ho Srimad Bhagavatam, the Dundukari will make a just like that he will disappear from that place. So that is power. That is the Phala of listening to Srimad Bhagavatam. Any Jiva, whoever has got even a ghostly life can be released from this bondage of material misery and can travel to the permanent place. That is Moksha Sthana. On the other side, the people who were witnessing these incidents, they have asked Gokarna, then why we did not get that Divya Vimana? Then Gokarna will make a statement, he will tell all those people, you people have just listened and you are only concentrating on the knot, whether how many times it will get released. And after going to your home, at the end of the day, you were completely absorbed in your household activities without remembering the Lord. But whereas this ghost, there was no food, no water, no thoughts about the material life. It was just constantly thinking about the Lord. Then if you also listen in such a manner, then definitely a Divya Vimana will come to you. Then again he has conducted one more Bhagavata in a Saptaha Vidhi. So the people whoever were sitting over there, they also all have got this Divya Vimana and everyone travelled. No one is spared in this material life. Everyone has been taken to permanent abode of Supreme Lord Sri Hari, where there is no place for jealousy, no place for competition, no place to pull others, no place to kill others. So in such a place where everyone will be living in a continuous brotherhood, and everybody will be in the guidance of, or they will be in the pratyaksha rakshana, that is in the direct vision of the Lord. Everybody will be there. So everyone has traveled to such an abode. So this is the beauty of Srimad Bhagavatam. There is no other remedy for this. There is no other alternative to this. If anyone is desirous of getting moksha, if one follows Bhagavatam, there is no other remedy. This has to be taken into the consideration, that there is no other remedy other than Srimad Bhagavatam, which can protect us or which can save us, and which has been, which has come in the bona fide disciplic succession. Such Bhagavatam scriptures only are to be considered, and that has to be studied, and that has to be listened, that has to be advised to anyone, and then only. That is what, as I said in Madhvacharya's Bhashya, Darsana Bhashya, Samadhi Bhashya, Guhya Bhashya. If one is able to distinguish in accordance to the Bhashyas, there is no doubt that anyone can attain the permanent abode of Supreme Lord Sri Hari. So this is one instance today I have narrated. That is the Phala Shruti. There is one particular incident. The other two incidents I will just in the coming sessions I will narrate it. So with this I want to conclude the today's session of Srimad Bhagavatam. Kayena vacha manasendriyero buddhyat manava prakute svabhavat karomi yadyat sakalam parasmai narayana yeti samarpayami. I want to conclude this to Udupi Sri Krishna. Krishnarpanamastu.